Hello, everyone. Have you ever spent months, maybe even a year, building something you were convinced was brilliant, only to watch your first users stumble, get frustrated, and almost walk away? Good. I am not the only one. Today, I am going to share the story of how my team faced that exact moment and how a simple diagram saved our platform from becoming a very expensive paperweight. I am Edyta Wrobel, and I am a technical product manager at a global tech consultancy, Thoughtworks, where we work with organizations across multiple industries and domains to solve complex challenges. Um, and this story is about one of those challenges and what we did to overcome it. So let's set the scene. I want you to imagine you're living your best engineering life. You've got a healthy budget, you're armed with the latest tech, and you have a clear mandate to build the future of engineering at your company. In your team's mind, you're not just building a platform, you're handcrafting a supercar. It's sleek, it's powerful, and it's going to let every developer move at the lightning speed. You spend months on it. The vision is perfect. Finally, the big day arrives. You proudly hand the keys to your very first user. They get in, they turn the ignition, and the horn honks. The windshield wipers go absolutely nuts, but the car itself goes nowhere. We had a spectacular failure to launch. Why? Because we were building blind. We had solved all sorts of fascinating technical problems, yes, but were they the right problems to solve? This quote: honestly, the onboarding took forever, and I am not sure that learning your platform actually paid off. Ouch. That's the kind of feedback that makes you want to check if the user accidentally reviewed a trip to DMV instead of your platform. But they were right. Our freeway was a traffic jam. Honestly, for us, it was a wake up call. It forced us to confront a very hard truth. We had built something, but we hadn't truly delivered a valuable experience. So, this feedback was our signal to pivot. The leadership brought in a product management focus, and I began leading a Discover Week to redefine our vision with a user centered approach. Throughout our interviews, I heard the same kind of questions about the user experience over and over. It became clear that the root cause wasn't the technical skills or lack of the F word. The fundamental problems was something else. It was the lack of clarity. We observed fragmented organizational boundaries with teams working in silos. This led to unclear ownership and responsibilities for the user's journey. Ultimately, we were missing the connective tissue, a shared holistic vision of what our developers went through. This forced us to ask ourselves the most basic and most important question: what exactly is the experience that we are offering? At that time, we didn't have a good answer. It was obvious we needed to align on this before writing another line of code. And that's when we decided to add one more session to our Discovery Week. So, how do you fix a problem you can't see? You have to make it visible. That's when we found our hero, the service blueprint. Service Blueprint is a tool that is borrowed from service design, and it gave us a shared visual language that everyone can understand. It is an alignment tool, especially when you are just shaping your product. It's like an MRI for your product. It shows you all the broken bones and blocked arteries in the system that are causing the user pain. It forces you to map both the system and the experience. And crucially, it helps you expose the bottlenecks, the pain points, the things that slows you down. It really makes the invisible work visible. As we go into the next slides, I will show you some templates and examples of the service blueprint. You don't need to pause or rewind. At the end of this talk, on the last slide, you will have a QR code and a link to my page where you can download these resources. So for those of you seeing a service blueprint for the first time, this is its basic structure. Imagine you are designing not just a product, but the entire experience around that product. So across the top, it starts with the customer's journey, their goals, and the phases that they go through, like how they first hear about you, entice, their first reaction or interaction with your platform, enter, how they use the service, so how do they engage, um, when they finish, if they finish, so how do they exit, and what happens afterwards. Um, then we map out what happens in the front stage. We look at customers' goals, their activities, the touch points that they use. And after that, we go behind. So there is this line of visibility that you can see on the slide. And then we cross to the back stage. So these are our partner actions, our operations, and our system. So it's this combination, that customer view and the operational view, that makes service blueprints so powerful, because it forces you to connect every single backstage action, every system, every team to a specific moment in a user journey. So, and no more solutions looking for problem.
So, back to our story, when we decided to add that blueprinting workshop during the Discovery Week, we really locked engineers, product, leadership, the whole cross functional team in a room with a giant whiteboard. The rule was quite simple: visuals over words, sticky notes, sharpies, questionable drawings, really anything to get the process out of our hands and onto the wall. We encouraged honest, even opposing points of views. Because on a whiteboard, talk is cheap. You have to point to exactly where the problem is. You do need to time box though. The session can easily take a day or two, so we decided to come prepared. And we already had the whole developer journey mapped out before everyone else joined the session. Then, together, we layered in the front stage and the backstage actions and discussed the dependencies, just like the previous slides. And crucially, we annotated the pain points. So, the real problems that our pilot users were facing. We made sure that it was a safe space to critique the process. And the key word of this session was really co creation. This is a simplified and zoomed out example of what came out of that workshop. It is our platform, visualized. You can see the swim lanes and the different phases, the activities, and how the platform team and other teams support the process. So, for example, during the onboarding phase, we have an intake activity that on the front stage requires our customers to fill out the intake form. And what that means on the backstage is that our team creates the requested resources whilst also collaborating offstage with our partners that need to get engaged for some integrations and security reasons. So this service blueprint shows us exactly the experience that we all live by, interacting with the platform really day to day. So did this one workshop magically fix everything? Well, of course not. It's a map, not a car. But for the first time, we all had the same map. Our roadmap debates went from I think we should build to the blueprint shows the biggest bottleneck is right here. We stopped adding features and started removing friction. And the blueprint itself became our best onboarding tool. It was a single picture that said, here is the experience we are committed to delivering, and here is your part in it. So, thanks to the service blueprint session, we gained confidence in our product's vision and as we achieved the internal alignment. So, you may think, Edita, this is super useful. And I just want to tell you that this isn't a tool just for platform teams. You can use it in any product whenever you're building anything that people have to onboard to. Um, so I wanted to also share a playbook with you that would help you go through that journey on your own. The important part is to start small. So focus on really just one workflow. Otherwise, you'll be stuck by the whiteboard for days. Alternatively, if you already know your user journey the way we did, you can also obviously map out the journey before the workshop and then focus on just adding the details and going through the pain points the way we did. I can't emphasize enough having the right people in the room. So don't leave any function out. Um, Draw on a whiteboard first and get a draft before you publish it. It is not about having it perfect, it's about encouraging that safe and honest discussion. Walk a developer through the map to validate your understanding, share the outcomes widely, and reuse it and update it. It is a living document and valuable communication tool. So I will leave you with this. A service blueprint won't solve your tactical problems, but it will solve something much, much harder. It will give your team a shared vision. It will force the conversations that need to happen, and it turns that building blind into building with clarity. It ensures that when your dominoes fall, they create the beautiful, valuable chain reaction you intended from the start. So, my final message to you is this: stop building blind, start by mapping the experience, find the friction, find the gaps, and that's where you'll find your most valuable work. Now, to help you get started on that journey, as I promised before, this QR code has everything that you need. So, a copy of these slides, the blueprint template that we've used, a few other resources as well. Please take this toolkit, use it, adapt it, and find the clarity that it brought to our team. I really wish and hope that for you. As you may have noticed, I genuinely love talking about this topic. So please feel free to connect with me. My details are on the screen. In case the QR code doesn't work, there's also a link to my personal page. And thank you for giving me your time. And well, enjoy the rest of the platform Con 2025. Thank you.